I am Alexa Pritchard. I am a recent graduate from Santa Clara University.
I'm Mandy. I am a passionate marketer for over 15 plus years now. It was such a pleasure to be part of this program. I've been mentored myself and have been mentored to people on my team as well as people in my network. And I still remember, and it's just a life-changing experience coming out of college, going to a different country, applying for a job, applying in different industries that you have no clue of. And I still remember those feelings of like, how do I do this versus all these other people? It's always a competitive marketing at some point or another. And I wish sometimes I had more back in the day that people helped me through it. I try to been paying it forward ever since because I think helping others, you don't know if it will ever help you, but having this network and connecting the dots is really something that benefits all of us in the long term.
A few goals I had was just to understand marketing and its specifics a bit more because it's so much more complex than people really understand on its surface level. So my goal from signing up for the mentorship program was to really narrow in on those niches and see what would be best for me and what I think I would succeed most in. And then finding a mentor, I wanted someone who had a lot of previous experience in marketing and could guide me through the application process, interviewing, all all the different aspects of that, and just also form different connections with people all over the country. And Mandy did all of that and even more for me. So it was definitely a perfect match.
Yeah, I think that in the beginning, building the relationship was really important. Also understanding again Alexa's goals and her needs. So then we can start somewhere and building like this little spider web of like, okay, let's try this, right? And this doesn't work and go there. And so it was really beneficial that we had those meetings. And then at the same time, the learning journey with EM marketing on the panel events, right? And more the insights, which also triggers new ideas of like, oh, that's something maybe we haven't even looked at yet because it was like our goal was set this way. So being flexible and being even able to pivot is really important in this process because I think it's tough to be really stuck with like I wanted this one thing and this one thing only when there might be opportunities waiting if we just look at a different market or a different industry or a different location. This was a very small program, so that it felt very intimate, and it wasn't like a big group that you couldn't get your questions in, which I think offered them a lot of opportunity to ask the questions around so it's really interesting to have a writer here. How did you start? And I tried also like getting some questions to shape the thinking, right? It's like, well, let's also we have a bond of trust here. Like, what was the biggest failure? Where did you make a mistake? Right? Like just to like unpeel a little bit like the success stories, because when you go through this, you feel like you only hear the success stories, and sometimes it's tough to like, oh, am I the only one who's not doing well? So it's good to hear like the ups and downs from others and say like, well, I was there, or this is like the 15th time that I'm consulting now, even though with like a full-time job. Or so I think the vulnerability there helps too, like when you are in this process and it can feel like a little bit hopeless sometimes when you get like the next rejection or you don't get like the interview or you get like the final and then they retract. It's just really tough to like and now motivate yourself again. It's not personal. And so access to this panelists help because you have like other people with experience and you can just ask them, how was your journey?
We met with a lot of different people, and it was from freelance writers to people working for Meta to Adobe to different banking services in that marketing area. So it was such a wide network to get to know. And I think my biggest takeaway, honestly, is what Mandy was saying. It takes time to get there and to figure out what your passion is, but it's good to keep trying different things. And I think that's something that's not said enough to people about to graduate college. And it was definitely reassuring because it's okay not to know exactly what you want to do. Another thing that was definitely a big takeaway is how many people after those meetings on Zoom were willing to network and have email exchanges and just offer any help they could in my future. So it was beyond just learning about what they did and getting to ask them questions about their own professional journey. it was really forming a relationship outside of the program as well.
I think there was something that Sheryl Sandberg said. She said, all these people come to me and says, um, I want you to be my mentor. And she's like, would love to, right? But it's really tough to like go and assign yourself a mentor, right? Like you mentor me. And this program is like actually doing this very proactively, which is very rare. You don't have usually that access to people who then take the time and put you through this. You get like this 1 5 minute pitch at a networking event, right? Or on a Zoom call. Now you have to try to extract something. And it's tough for them because they move on to the next thing in their schedule, right? And they're not like now taking on like, oh, I take you on as my mentee. So I think the uniqueness of this program is you have that, and that's great for people to try that out. And at the same time, you see like you develop this muscle of like, how can I get when I have this 5 minutes with a new person in my life, right? Like figure out like what the connection could do for my need, my help, or how can I help them? Because then it can help me later in my life or something. So I think it's just an ongoing thing. And I think it's not that I have like, these are my 5 mentees in my life, but I would love to say like I'm there for my friends, my coworkers, right? And my network as whenever I can help and support.
I would have to say it gives you the opportunity that you don't really get inside the classroom or even from your school to learn again the niches of marketing. You get to work on your own personal skills like interviewing, networking, preparing questions ahead of time, which is actually a really valuable skill. You get to work on your resume. There's so many more reasons I could name, but my top one is definitely the networking aspect. Like Mandy was saying, usually meet and greets like for networking are so quick and you don't have time to really get to know them. And I think that with this mentorship program, you're really getting to spend quality time with these people and learn all about them and their own experiences and bond over that and share your own as well. So I think that it's been really valuable, and I think that everyone should definitely join the EM marketing program. And I'll definitely be sure to reach out to people I know and let them know about it.